All right, so today we are going to be talking about 11.4, which is two-way tables and relative frequency tables. That's not in the title, but we will talk about them. So we have Felipe surveyed students at his high school, or at his school. He found that 78 students own a cell phone and 57 of those students own a tablet. There are 70 students that own a tablet, 9 students do not own either device. Construct a two-way table summarizing the data. So this is kind of nice because they filled in the information that was provided for us. And all we have to do now is fill in anything that is blank, which is going to be a lot easier than you think. It's just a lot of addition and subtraction. So I like to go across the rows first. So I'm going to start going across my rows first and do as much as I can across rows and then go to my columns. So I see right here I have two numbers in this row. So I can figure out the third number. We have 57 and 78. So to get how many no tablets, I would do 78 minus 57, which is going to be 21. Now, looking across the next two rows, I don't have enough information to fill those ones out. So now I'm going to go down my columns and do as much as I can there. So I see down column 1, I have two numbers here, 70 and 57. So to figure out this third box, I am going to go 70 minus 57 is equal to 13. I'll pause right here to remind you that on recorded videos, I'm going to go just at a regular speed and not pause or stop. If you need to pause the video to catch up, please do that. This is at your own pace entirely. The next column, I see I have two numbers, 21 and 9. And since I'm trying to find the total here, I know that I'm going to add them together. So I get 21 plus 9 is equal to 30. And then I see in the third column, I still don't have enough information to finish this one. So let's go back to our rows. So now I'm going to look at this row, and I see I have two numbers, and I'm trying to find their total. So I'm going to add them together again. And I get 13 plus 9 is going to give me 22. And my final row and my final column should have the exact same number because it's going to be the total number of people surveyed altogether. So I'm going to do the row because 70 plus 30 is a lot easier to do. And that's going to give me 100. And that's how we fill out a two-way frequency or a two-way table, is just putting all of these numbers in, adding and subtracting to get to our totals or how many we have in the missing boxes. And you can see right here in this table that we did all of those correct. So that's good. Now we're going to talk a little bit about relative frequency. So we have the table shows the results of a survey that asked adults and students at a school whether they preferred to use a tablet or a laptop. So again, same numbers, same data we just worked with. Find the relative frequencies by row. Are students or adults more likely to prefer laptops? So when they say relative frequency by row, that just means we're going across. So when I divide the numbers, I need to divide by the total of the row and not of the column. So I'm not going to divide anything by 70 or 30 here. It's only going to be 78 and 22, which you can see they did for us. But I want you to really understand how to get those numbers in the row relative frequency. So if we do 57 divided by 78, we get 0.73. 21 divided by 78 is 0.27. We're going to pause and do a check-in here because I can see here that the total should be 1.0. And if I do add 0.73 and 0.27 together, I do get 1.0. So that's good. That means we've done this right so far. And then I'm going to go across the adults row. And 13 divided by 22 is 0.59. And 9 divided by 22 is 0.41. And again, if we do a quick check-in, those added together do equal 1.0. So we're good. We've done this right so far. Then we go back and we look at the question they asked us, which is, are students or adults more likely to prefer laptops? So we're going to look at this column here, laptops. We have 0.27 compared to 0.41. Well, 0.41 is obviously greater than 0.27. So my answer to this one is adults are more likely to prefer laptops at 41% to students at 27%. And that's how we compare row relative frequency data. So next, again, we have the table shows the number of high school and middle school students that signed up for canoeing at summer camp. Find the relative frequencies by row. Are high school or middle school students more likely to choose canoeing? And explain. So going by row, once again, we are going to be going across this way. So I'm going to do 1, 28 divided by 71, 2, 43 divided by 71, 3, 34 divided by 79, and 4, 45 divided by 79. If I grab a calculator and do all of these, I'm going to get 0.39, 0.61, 0.43, and 0.57. And then once again, we'll just do a quick check-in. If I add these together, I do get 1.0, which is what the total should be here. And if I add these together, I do get 1.0, which is what the total should be. So then our question asks us, are high school or middle school students more likely to choose canoeing? So now I'm going to look at the canoeing column, and I have 39% compared to 43%. And obviously 43 is going to be greater than 39. So I would write middle school students because 43% prefer canoeing to high schools 39%. Okay, pause the video if you need to get this all written down. And now we're going to talk a little bit about column relative frequency, which is basically the same thing. The only difference is now we're going to be looking down the columns instead of across the rows. So these examples have been nice because they've only been giving you the column numbers or the row numbers. But in your homework, it might show up that they have numbers here too. And then you have to know which one you're doing. So column is always going down the columns, rows is always going across the rows. So we have the table shows the number of high school and middle school students that signed up for canoeing at summer camp. Find the relative frequencies by columns. Is canoeing or no canoeing chosen more often by high school students? So we have the relative frequencies by column. So once again, 1 is going to be 28 divided by 62. 2 is going to be 34 divided by 62. 3 is going to be 43 divided by 88. And 4 is going to be 45 divided by 88. So if we do these division, if I go on a calculator and divide these out, I get 0.45, 0.55, 0.49, and 0.51. Finally, we do a quick check-in again. If I added down the columns, I should get 1.0. And in fact, I do, so that's good. That means that these are most likely right. And now our question asks us, is canoeing or no canoeing chosen more often by high school students? So now, because we did the column frequency, we're going to look at the row of high school students. And I see that canoeing is 0.45 compared to no canoeing is 0.49. So in this case, no canoeing at 49% compared to canoeing at 45%. All right, and that's how we do two-way tables and relative frequency tables. You will not have a homework assignment on this until Tuesday. We have another lesson that we're going to learn quick before then. So once you are done with this video, you are done for the day.